Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Amy Siegel. I'm ASA's Director of Programs, and I'm joined by.
Hi, I'm Tina Wiseman, and on my screen, I'm big and giant right now, so I hope I'm not as giant as I look. And I'm your school support specialist, which may be a good or bad thing today. So welcome. We're glad you're here.
Very glad. We are going to go ahead and turn off our cameras and get started in the interest of starting on time and ending on time. Always our goal. And just a reminder about your GoToMeeting controls. You have an orange arrow that will make them smaller and get them out of your way, or can make them bigger if they are already small. There's some features there. You can ask questions, you can raise a hand. Tina's going to pay attention to all of that, and she'll chime in if we've got a question for the whole group. If you've got a question just for Tina, go ahead and send that to her, and she'll get back to you as soon as time allows. I hope that covers everything. If you have any questions, let us know. It looks like we do have a question.
We can't see you, it says. Oh, no, you can't see us now, Ron. We just took ourselves off. Can you see the screen? Oh, yes. Okay, great. The screen looks a lot better than I do anyway, so we're good. I won't speak for Amy.
So yeah, we got our cameras out of the way and just have the slideshow right now. So today we're going to be talking about vision. And the steps for creating a vision, we'll start with a steering team discussion, and then a draft of the vision statement. Then we'll seek consensus amongst the steering team, and then you'll finalize and submit your vision statement.
Okay, Amy, I'm still seeing the organizer and presenter webinar screen.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry about that. I forgot a button.
So we are ready for Rationale. So what we're asking today is, why do we engage in continuously improving our schools? And why would we create a vision for all kids? One answer to that is this chart that every time I see it, I find it very fascinating, because it's one of those things that if you were a CEO, where would you send your jobs? And, you know, that's becoming more and more prevalent all the time. And you can see there just at a scan, and I'm sure you've seen charts like this before, the low-skilled jobs, look at the difference in the wages, and we wonder why they're going to other countries. High-skilled jobs, when it comes to math and science, we're not even in the top 10 in science. We are in the top 10 in math, but there again, our high-skilled jobs are going away from us. And the one thing that has always amazed us is, with all of this going on and with us losing jobs to other countries all the time, we're still first in creativity. The other countries are emerging, but at the same time, the creativity is right here in the United States. And so if we can just do something to combine those things together, it's going to get a whole lot better. So we seek to improve our school for all kids so that they can all compete globally for high-skilled jobs. We also want our students to be career ready, and of course that's coming to the forefront more and more all the time with our Indiana schools. Here is an example of the Employability Skills Framework from the US DOE in 2013. You see, with applied knowledge, effective relationships, and workplace skills, the applied knowledge, of course, is our reading, writing, arithmetic, science, and then those critical thinking skills. But then the effective relationships have to be there as well. So our kids need to not only know how to read and write, they also need to know how to collaborate with others. But at the same time, if they need to work independently, they should be able to. The third one is kind of tricky these days, is having that positive attitude. I know sometimes we feel like we're with the hothouse flowers, bless their hearts, but we have to create some resiliency at the same time to get these kids to where, as we go into the personal qualities, they're responsible, they have self-discipline, they have flexibility, integrity, initiative. And I know some you're already tired just from hearing that and thinking, oh my gosh, it's enough to have to teach and to do all the critical thinking skills rather than to teach all these other things. But we know as teachers also that if we can have these qualities going on in our classrooms and that they learn it early on, our jobs of getting them the applied knowledge and teaching them the critical thinking skills are going to be that much more successful. And then, of course, all of that translates into the workplace skills of resource management, of information use, of communication, systems thinking, and technology use. So there's a lot there, but this is what the world is today, as we well know. We also know that higher education attainment leads to higher wages and it lowers the chance of unemployment. And so here's just, a typical chart where with the weekly income, the higher the degree in most cases, the lower the level of unemployment. Because as we know, as the ability and the skills level goes up, there's going to be more of a demand because there are just less people able to do that. So we really want to make sure that kids, even at a young age, are beginning to understand that and can move through those cycles of getting that higher education, or at least some really good, thorough training. Through our school improvement work, we also seek to decrease achievement gaps for the students in the lower income brackets and for students of color, because it becomes a social justice issue as well. And there again, our percent of college enrollment by income level, you see the higher it goes, of course, the higher the college enrollment. And then the college enrollment by race is still, of course, not where it should be. We're not evening out yet, but hopefully we're growing each year on that.
So that's why we do the work of school improvement. As we talk about vision and what vision is, as we get into the work of brainstorming a vision for your school, think back to those rationale slides and keep those in mind as you dream for all kids. To start with vision, what is a vision? In the world of ASA, vision is a lofty, bold statement of the way our school will be if all of our dreams for kids come true. We think that this is one of the best activities we do, especially with educators, because it gets us back to thinking about why we became educators in the first place. It's great for parents because they get to see how the educators in their school are dreaming for their kids. So visioning or dreaming requires us to think out of the box. What could be in our wildest dreams for kids? A vision statement is a bit different than a mission statement. A vision is a detailed description of an ideal world. It's a lofty and bold dream. A mission is a brief statement that says that it's the aim of the school to move toward the vision. A vision versus a goal. The vision is a detailed description of an ideal world. Again, it's a lofty and bold dream, while a goal is a realistic step between the current situation and the vision. It's reachable within a certain time frame. And we're going to be talking about goals in great depth in our March webinar. This is a quote from Joel Barker that we really like. The power of vision. Vision without action is but a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. And we've seen many schools change their schools by first engaging in vision and then moving to putting the plans in place to reach that vision.
So next we move on to the actual foundation of the vision. Our vision or our dreams based on our personal core convictions. And then, of course, usually the next question is, what exactly is a core conviction? And that is the belief that we hold in our hearts about kids, about learning, and about education. An example of that core conviction would be that all students deserve to grow up in a culture of high expectations. And another example of a core conviction is that all students deserve to master rigorous standards. And yet another example of this would be all students deserve to be engaged in their learning. Yet another. We have lots of examples here. All students deserve an adult to guide them. So you can see as we're going through the different elements here of, you can just think about a school day and you can see how all these elements would serve throughout this time. To practice identifying core convictions and to see what a school actually looks like when it's operated based on the core convictions, please watch the Monroe Doctrine. There is a link on your VTA process page, and we have seen this. We saw it years ago, and we were just absolutely blown away by it. It is rather dated in some ways, but in other ways, I think Amy would agree, it is ageless, because the whole purpose of Dr. Monroe's doctrine, so to speak, I think will just really open up your mind and to a whole new look at visioning and those core convictions that come with it. So then after watching the Monroe Doctrine, we'd like you to discuss and answer as a group. Can you tell what is in a person's heart by watching their actions? And then we'd also like you to discuss, what did the educators at the Frederick Douglass Academy believe in their hearts about kids, about learning, and about education?
And after you've practiced by watching the Frederick Douglass video, the Dr. Monroe video, we'd like you to move on and talk about your school and your core convictions and what those might look like in practice. So the first step in doing that is, in our opinion, one of the best ways to get started is to tape 4 big pieces of paper on the wall and label them core convictions, adult behaviors, student behaviors, and achievement data. And then as you're brainstorming, have one of your steering team members record the ideas. This is going to be the basis of your vision statement. So the questions that we'll have you ask is, in your heart, what do all students in your school deserve? These are your core convictions. Based on those convictions, in your ideal school, what are the adults doing? What are the students doing? And what % of students are passing both the state math and English language arts tests? And I wouldn't necessarily limit it to just the ISTEP math and language arts. Think about other achievement indicators. Graduation rate is a good one. We do try to keep it to achievement. So, it could be the % of students who are earning, or who are on the honor rolls. % of students are, we've seen a lot of different takes on this, but please keep those focused on actual achievement that you can put a number or a % to. And this is a time to dream big. It really is the basis of the vision statement you're going to write for your school. Remember also that you're representing groups in your school community. Some of you are there to represent teachers, some parents, businesses, administrators, and you're representing your students. Picture those faces, in your mind as you think about what all kids deserve. Think about how others in the groups you represent would answer these questions.
Just as an aside on that last slide, I'm kind of the nuts and bolts person with all of this. So a good thing to do is you should be very, very well acquainted with your achievement data as you have never been in your life. after putting all that information in not all that long ago. And so I believe that's correct. Amy, are we there yet? We're at achievement date, aren't we? Am I jumping the gun on this one?
Everybody's been collecting data. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that was in January.
Working without a net here, so I wanted to make sure once I said that they're not sitting there scratching their heads.
Yeah.
And Ron, I'm going to count on you to keep me in line here on this. So yeah, ask those questions if I get out of line. But using your data that you have right now, that's a good time to list out those different areas that you really want to watch and really want to track, because there again, you know, if you can get that vision to where those kids are just humming along at, you know, in the area of 100%, you're watching your growth, and you're watching your growth in a very consistent and organized manner, so that if you do see anything kind of out of whack over the years to come, it's going to be easy to go back and really trim that down and neaten that up. Okay, having said that, we'll move on to.
Hey, Tina, I
Yes.
realized I forgot to say when we're looking at the percentage, that number 4, the percentage of students passing whatever achievement standard you would want to put in there, we really challenge you to think about, if our vision really did come true, if we were able to provide all of these things that we feel that students deserve, if we could do that, you know, think about how many kids really could pass that. I mean, be bold and lofty and dream big. And I know that we've had some teachers who've really, well, not just teachers. There have been some people on steering teams and on community councils who get stuck and think, no, not all kids can do that. But we're really saying, you know, if all of our dreams for all of our kids came true, what would that percentage look like? And then we have something to really strive for. We're not just going to be satisfied with, well, you know, 75% of them got there. That'd be pretty good. But really, it gives us a motivation to keep working always, to try to get to that vision, so that we are bringing along more and more kids. So dream big.
You're never going to bump your head on a vision ceiling. There is no ceiling in vision. So set it.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. Absolutely. Okay, so the next steps that you're going to be doing in the vision is your council consensus point person will draft the vision statement and send it to the steering team for consensus. Now, for consensus, you don't have to love it, but you do have to decide, can you live with it? And equally importantly, can you support it publicly? Can you support it to your colleagues? Could you support it to parents? Could you support it to the community? Could you support it with students? So there again, you don't have to love it, but if you can live with it and you can support it publicly, you're on your way.
And again, these are steps that take place after the discussion. So talking to the council consensus person, you'll have those 4 big pieces of paper where everybody brainstormed to serve as your basis. We also have in your manual several examples of vision statements. We have an example at each building level: elementary, middle school, and high school. So that can be looking at those just for an idea of format and flow, can really help as you start on that draft. Little nuts and bolts there. We'll look at that in a moment. Oh, we'll look at that right now, in fact. Let's go over to the process page. So we are in February. This month we're starting, as always, with our webinar. We encourage all the steering team members to download and read the ASA Elements of High Achieving Schools. And this is our experience working with schools over the last 20 years. We've gleaned a lot of things that high achieving schools tend to do. So let that be something you marinate on as you get into this work. We have the tools for your steering team discussion. If you click on the information icon, that's going to take you over to the manual and same section, vision. The one thing I didn't put in the manual, but I will correct that in just a moment, as soon as we are in the webinar, I don't have the link that you need for the Monroe Doctrine videos. So I will add that here, and so you'll have everything that you need. But the slides are here, high achieving schools, and then those sample vision statements. And I go back. So in step 4, this is where you'll enter your vision statement. We have a nice, very simple entry page. We break it down into the 4 sections. We believe all students deserve. You can type that in if you are really set on doing bullet points. You can use an asterisk. Um, So you can use the asterisk in your keyboard to create a bulleted list. And we'll save that. As you're working on this page, I know sometimes we get into it and you could time out if you haven't saved. So we give you plenty of save buttons on here. So we have our what we believe all students deserve, what the adults in our community, what they would look like if they were living by those core convictions every day. And we'd like you to get into to show the following attitudes and actions. What do adults do when they live by their core convictions? And then in this environment where adults are living by their core convictions, what do all students do? What kind of attitudes, behaviors, and choices do they make when they're living in this environment where all adults are living by the core convictions? And then lastly, we give you a place to put in your vision data. And so we start off with 5 fields. If your team wants to add more, there's a button for that. So you can add, oh, well, because they're empty, it didn't do it. But you can add more vision data fields. So don't feel limited by that. And then we give you a button here. We have a save and submit for review. However, once you get this in, I think what you'll want to do is save it and go to the process page and come back to Vision and open up your report. And this will be the report that you send out to the rest of the steering team to seek consensus. So that's right there. And then when everybody agrees, yes, this is our vision statement, then go ahead and submit that for review. In step 5, we have the rubric items, and it's always a good idea to look those over. So what Tina will be looking for as she reviews is that the first paragraph contains the core convictions, the second paragraph describes ideal adult behaviors and attitudes, the third paragraph describes ideal student behaviors and attitudes, and the fourth paragraph includes ideal student achievement data. And then we also want to make sure that we have all achievement data expressed as a percentage of students who reach a standard. So that's probably where we start to move into concrete thought. So that's a very easy section in the on the process page. Do you have any questions about the online system for this month?
I don't see any right at the moment, but one thing that some of you may be thinking is how long, short, succinct, drawn out should this vision statement be? We're going to have a different length and a different style for every school. So you write what you want, and then you send it in, and 9 times out of 10, it's correct as long as you follow those basic instructions of what the teachers look like, what the students look like, and then getting the data in correctly and making sure it is achievement data. And other than that, there again, it's vision. It's lofty, it's bold. There is no such thing as too bold on this. So just go right ahead and write to your heart's content. And just kind of a working off of this particular slide. Remember that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday I'm in the office from 8 until 2, and then Wednesdays I am working from 2 until 8. If you have any questions, at any time, feel free at any time to send an email or to leave a phone message. And which brings us to the next slide. So there's the phone number, there's the email address, and please keep in mind it is a 5-second rule. So don't stress yourself out about any of this. There's just no need. So just get in touch with me. We can walk through it if you want to talk through it. Council consensus people, if you want to just kind of talk through it to kind of get started, that's perfectly fine. Just feel free to call. This evening, now that I have said that, I won't be in later this evening because Amy and I have both had a really strange incident. I don't think she'll mind if we divulge a little. Neither one of us are actually working at home today due to crazy weather and incidents, and Amy is actually not working in the state. She had a family emergency, but we wanted to get this webinar done and keep all of you on schedule. So we're kind of, like I said, we're working without a net today, but I will be back in the office tomorrow at 8 a.m. And so in the meantime, if you do have any questions, just feel free to leave me a message on the phone or through email.
I feel kind of bad saying, here in Florida, it's almost 90 degrees, but it's
and
almost.
I feel really bad you saying that. Since we were out with a snow day, ice day, so yeah.
I hope y'all are staying safe. I know it is cold and icy in Indiana, and really appreciate you being here for the webinar. And for any of your steering team members who couldn't make it, we'll have this posted. I'll probably post it this evening so that they can get caught up. We know on days like this, sometimes schedules are a little awry. So as always, thank you guys so much for attending. And if you have any questions or need help, Tina's your girl. And
I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see those vision statements.
I know, it'll be great.
Yeah.
It's a good bunch here. So we have a vision of what your vision is going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
So have a great evening, everybody.
Thanks again.